Good afternoon, students. To develop the intellectual process as well as the cognitive thinking or cognitive process, so some common theories are there. First is the factor theory of intelligence. Second is the process-oriented theory of intelligence. Third is the information processing theory. So, in the factor theory of intelligence, first is that two factor or G factor theory. So, two factor or G factor, it is coined by Charles Spearman, or this theory is proposed by Charles Spearman in the year 1927. He proposed two factor theory or G factor theory on the basis of an statistical process known as factor analysis. Okay. So he tells that for the development of the intellectual ability or to develop in the intellectual process, there are two factor. Okay, first is the G factor and second is the S factor. So G factor is known as the common ability or is known as the common senses. Okay, the common mental ability is known as G factor, and S factor, that is the specific ability of a person. So a person's acquired both G factor and the S factor also. So that individuals acquired the common ability known as G factor and also possesses specific ability S factor. Okay. So see that if the persons acquiring G factor, that G factor will be different from the S factor. Here see that G factor always universal or it is the inborn. The universal means it is contain both you and also me. Okay. And inborn, that is the acquired from the born. From the birth of baby it will be acquired. So the common sense or common mental ability or the common general ability known as G factor. Okay. That is a G factor. That example, common abilities like the decision making process, problem solving process, and learning. So suppose teacher tell to about the topic to the student learn it. So teaching learning process, it is also example of the common mental ability or the general ability. Common general mental abilities. Okay, how to learn, how to swimming, these are the common mental abilities that are acquired by the persons. Okay, and it is an universal, that means it is possesses both you and also me. Okay, so persons who has the greater mental ability, they know, they learn about anything. Okay, and also understand it and first apply to get the company and first will get the job. Okay. सो जो व्यक्तिर जी फैक्टर रही, जी फैक्टर हूँ कौन कहते ना गोटे कमन मेंटल एबिलिटी बा कमन सेंस कहुए। जी फैक्टर थे व्यक्ति माने जेहेतु से माने भल भाव में सब शिखी था सब आइडिया रही था प्रत्येक क्षेत्र में। सो से माने फास्ट जॉब पाई पारंती। सो से इंडिविजुअल तांका लाइफ रे बहुत सक्सेस पाई था कहीं से कमन मेंटल एबिलिटीज रही। कौन लर्निंग प्रोसेस केमती केमती बिहेव पैटर्न। ओके, बिहेव पैटर्न, थिंकिंग एंड ऑल्सो से माने केमती कौन सी काम को डिसीजन मेकिंग प्रोसेस रे, प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग प्रोसेस रे। ओके, सो डिसीजन मेकिंग मते करते कौन सी गोटे कार्य कले तो सेटा केमती सॉल्व हो पारिबो तो डिसीजन मेकिंग रे प्रोसेस रे से गले प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व कले। ओके, सो जेमन जी फैक्टर हूँ कमन मेंटल एबिलिटी, जहाँ हम निजर कमन मेंटल एबिलिटी रही कमन सेंस रही ताकू आम जॉब क्षेत्र में अप्लाई करवा। तो जो मानकर जी कमन मेंटल एबिलिटी वेरी वेल भल थाए, से जी फैक्टर बा कमन मेंटल एबिलिटी भल थाए, से माने जॉब रे कौन करते जॉब शीघ्र अचीव कर पारि थांती। ओके, एंड इट देन एक्स फैक्टर that is all acquired from the environment. That means it requires the guidance support of the teacher, that is higher experience person. Okay, so X factor कौन करते हैं? X factor मध्य इंडिविजुअल पाखे रही था. X factor आम एनवायरनमेंट रू पाई था कि ना कौन से एक्सपीरियंस पर्सन ठारू कि टीचर ठारू आम तांकटू शिखिकी कौन करवा ट्रेनिंग नहीं कि आम जो इंटरेस्ट कैपेबल एबिलिटी आम पाखे रही थाए ताकू आम कौन करवा डेवलपमेंट करें. ओके, तेणु एज फैक्टर एग्जांपल है जदि कौन सी व्यक्ति द पर्सन्स हु आर द मोर लाइकली टू इंटरेस्ट टू डांसिंग, more like to interest to cooking, the persons who has the ability to culinary skills. Okay, so different type of skills also there, the persons who have interest to do it. तो आम देखा सोसाइटी रे गुड़े पिला अच्छा जो मैंने डांसिंग रे भल पाती, जो मैंने म्यूजिक रे भल पाती, जो मैंने कौन करती इन प्रोफेशनल लाइन रे इनवॉल्व होगापी भल पाती, इंजीनियरिंग हो नर्सिंग हो, तो से कर्म क्षेत्र रहीकि से कौन करते निजर कैपेबिलिटी को निजर स्पेसिफिक एबिलिटी को बढ़ाई था. तो सहीटा हूँ एस सेटा हूँ एस फैक्टर. ओके, तो जी फैक्टर समस्त थाए किंतु एक्स फैक्टरटा से एडिशनल होगी रही थाए. ओके, सो एस फैक्टर भैरेज फ्रॉम एक्टिविटी टू एक्टिविटी इन सेम इंडिविजुअल. गोटे इंडिविजुअल पाखे बा गोटे व्यक्ति पाखे एस फैक्टर भ्यारी करि थाए. आइदर से डांसर होता है, म्यूजिशियन होता है. ओके, किंबा केवल डांसर होता है, किंबा से कौन सी गोटे इंजीनियरिंग बिल्डिंग क्षेत्र में जो बिल्डिंग कंस्ट्रक्शन क्षेत्र में से करें. तो यहीटा कौन करे ना, ये भैरीज फ्रॉम एक्टिविटी टू एक्टिविटी सेम इंडिविजुअल. ओके, then see that in the G factor theory, according to G factor theory, so individual if A is known as the total intelligence, so individual acquired intelligence that is having the common G factor, so that G and they acquiring the many specific ability, that is G plus S1 S2 S3 plus etc. So as we know that G factor is the common sense or common mental ability of persons. Okay, and it varies from individual to individual also, because my G factor is different from the yours G factor. Okay, so my common mental abilities is different from the you, because my thinking, my learning, my qualities, my behavior, attitude, and is all are that is different from the you. Okay, and yours G factor also different from me, so that G factor is different from the individual to individual, and S factor is activity of individual different in the same individual activity is different. Okay, गोटे इंडिविजुअल पाखे मेन बहुत प्रकार तार क्वालिटी रही है, डांसिंग करें, म्यूजिक करें, कि केवल डांसिंग करें. ओके, तेणु जी फैक्टर गोटे थाए कॉमन फैक्टर, बट एक्स स्पेसिफिक एबिलिटी बहुत थाए. गोटे व्यक्ति डांसिंग करें, म्यूजिक करें, से भी भल फुटबॉल प्लेयर होता है. ओके, सो जदि आम टोटाल इंटेलिजेंस एबिलिटी को ए धरवा, ताले गोटे व्यक्ति पाखे कौन कौन सब रही है ना, जी फैक्टर प्लस एस फैक्टर मध्य थाए. तो जी फैक्टर है कॉमन एबिलिटी, इट इज यूनिवर्सल, इट इज इनबॉर्न. तेणु गोटे जी फैक्टर रही है एवं ता पाखे स्पेसिफिक एबिलिटी बहुत गुड़े थाए. तेणु आम स्पेसिफिक एबिलिटी S1 S2 S3 भाव में काउंट को नवा, ताले जदि आम डांसिंग S1 नवा, म्यूजिक को S2 नवा, फुटबॉल प्लेयर को S3 नवा, ताले आम कैलकुलेशन द्वारा कौन हो, मैथमेटिकल फॉर्मूला A इज इक्वल टू G प्लस S1 प्लस S2 प्लस S3 प्लस डॉट डॉट डॉट. ओके, so if we discuss about the characteristic between the G factor versus S factor. So you know that G factor is universal and inborn ability. That means it is universal. That means it is present me and you also. Okay, and it is inborn ability. It is the acquired from the birth of the baby. So it is occurred from the birth. Okay, then it is gradually increases, and it is the general mental ability. That means the common sense or common mental ability is present everybody, but it is different from the individual to individual. Okay, example already I had tell to you that my attitude, behavior, and my working skills, okay, is all are different from the you, and your certificate is also different from the me. Your attitude, behavior, and your working skills, and your the learning, okay, your how to driving, how to swimming, all are different from the me. Okay, uh, so that it is so it is known as general ability, mental ability. Okay, then it is constant in one individual, because your skill, your attitude, your behavior, your knowing about anything, your driving, your swimming, all are different from me. So it is constant in one individual. Your qualities is your. Okay, and already said that a G factor are different from the individual. Okay, and used in the every activities of our life. Okay, your problems solving skills, decision making skills, always you applied during the problem, during the coming of the problem. Okay, so it is used in the every activity of life. Then we discuss the S factor. S factor that is acquired from the environment, because from environment you you learned, you experienced. Okay, uh, and you also your that ability also developed by the experienced persons. Okay, so you learned dance, example dancing, you learned from the dance master. Okay, your music, you learn from the musician. So all are things learned from the environment. Your specific ability learned from your cooking style, your cooling skill, all are that is learned from the environment. Okay, so it is acquired, it is learned from the environment. And these are specific ability, because it is specific for one or in individual it is one specific ability. It is not same to other individual. Okay, other individual also another ability, like the he is a football player, also he is a worker, any skill worker. Okay, so specific ability is added in the general mental ability. Okay, and activities also varies in one in same individual, because either that means individuals has dancing skill and music skill. Okay, so activities also activity to activities will be differ. Maybe it is not occurred same dancing skill or the same music skill in the another person also. Okay, तो ये कौन करे एक्टिविटी टू एक्टिविटी गोटे सेम इंडिविजुअल भ्यारी करें. सपोज से डांसिंग करें, डांसिंग में भी न करें, कि से म्यूजिक से म्यूजिक रे बहुत स्किल थाए, म्यूजिक रे स्किल न हो पारे, तेणु एक्टिविटी तार डांसर हो पारे, म्यूजिक हो पारे, फुटबॉल प्लेयर हो पारे. गोटे सेम इंडिविजुअल क्वालिटी गुड़ा रही है, कि गोटे क्वालिटी केवल डांसर थाए, म्यूजिक न हो पारे कि फुटबॉल प्लेयर न हो पारे. ओके, so individual differ in the amount of specific ability. Okay, then come to the group factor or multi-factor theory of intelligence. So group factor or multi-factor intelligence is proposed by L.L. Thurston in the year 1938. So he also focused, also he is given 7 primary mental abilities for developing of the intellectual process as well as the cognitive process of thinking. Okay, so both general both intelligence as well as the cognitive abilities developed by L.L. Thurston multiple factor theory or group factor theory 1938 रे purpose देइथिले. Okay, 1938 ए theory discover करिथिले. That means he did not rejected to the Spearman's two-factor theory, but he extended the understanding method of the Spearman's two-factor theory. Okay, he extend the knowledge of the two-factor theory and is given by the L.L. Thurston in the year 1938. So what are the 7 primary mental abilities that will helpful for progressive of the intellectual process as well as the cognitive mental abilities? So first is that verbal factor. Verbal factor, the people's if any message or the any comprehensive message, reading message that will present in front of you. So whatever you thought it, how do you understand it? Okay, and how to that will that total passage, how do you understand, what are the method of to understand this passage, reading passage. Okay, and how to read it, that is known as a verbal factor. That test will be done the peoples who qualified and acquiring the reading the passage, that is known as the verbal factor. Okay, so verbal comprehension, that is verbal passage will be presented in front of the individual, and individuals read the passage, read the passage and understand it. That is known as the verbal factor. The peoples who read the passage more understandingly and gives meaning of it through by reading the passage and editing the passage also. Only reading the passage also, that is known as the that people's containing high verbal factor. Okay, जो व्यक्ति कौन करे ता आगे जदि आम किसी पैसेज रखा से पैसेज को शीघ्र से पढ़ी भल भाव बुझी पारि थाए एवं ताकू मध्य कहि पारि थाए कौन बुझी से कौन बुझला सेटा एक्सप्रेस कर पारे, ताकू कहते verbal factor. Then the come the special factor. Special factor ଯେତେବେଳେ କୌଣସି when object comes to the retina of the eye, we see object, it is a 2 dimension. Okay, ଆମେ ସମତେ 2 dimension ଜାଣିଛେ. Third dimension, what is the third dimension of the space? Okay, 2 dimension space ରେ କ'ଣ ହୁଏ, ଆମେ ଯେକୌଣସି ଇମେଜର retina of the eye ରେ ପଡ଼ିଲେ ଆମେ କ'ଣ କରିବା, ଅବଜେକ୍ଟଟାକୁ କ୍ଲିୟର ଭାବରେ ଦେଖିପାରୁ. ତ ଏଇଟା 2 dimension of space କହନ୍ତି. ତ third dimension space କ'ଣ? Third dimension space रे कौन हुए ना आमे will see the object, how much distance between you and the object. Okay, how much distance रे कौन करो ना ऑब्जेक्ट को तमे देखि पारो एवं ता विषय भल भाव बुझी पारो, ताको थर्ड डायमेंशन. एग्जांपल, टेलर स्टिचिंग द क्लॉथेस. ओके, टेलर स्टिचिंग द क्लॉथेस, तो ही गिव कंसंट्रेशन. ओके, बाय द थर्ड डायमेंशन. So they will perceive the understand the about the material, how to stitch it, and they will do it. Okay, so third dimension कौन हुए ना आमे second dimension रे आमे ऑब्जेक्ट को देखि पारू. थर्ड डायमेंशन कौन करो, आमे कंसंट्रेशन देके आमे से कामटा को टास्क को कंप्लीट करि थाउ. ओके, so example was given, that is a tailor stitching the clothes. Okay, दैट है आमर स्पेशल फैक्टर. स्पेशल फैक्टर कौन करे, आम ऑब्जेक्ट उपर इमेजिन करके केमिति आम ताको टास्क कंप्लीट करबा, ताको जानी कि आम से टास्क को प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग सॉल्यूशन बाहर करके आम से टास्क कंप्लीट करूँ. ओके, इमेजिन आम ता विषय भाबू, तापर आम कंप्लीट करूँ, ताको थर्ड डायमेंशन स्पेस रे कर थाउ. सो स्पेशल फैक्टर जो व्यक्ति अधिका थाए से भल भाव में स्किल को कंप्लीट करि पारे. ओके, सॉरी वर्क इनकम्प्लीट स्किल गुडी को कंप्लीट करि पारे. देन द कम टू द नंबर फैक्टर. Number factor is very simple. Okay, it is contains the subtraction, multiplications, fraction, ratio, etc. The persons who has the contain high number factor, they will solve the mathematical formula. It is comes in the examination, competitive examination also. Reasoning, in the reasoning also, the numerical factor is most important. Okay, so the example, this numerical factor is most required the companies like the data analysis company, textile company. All the employee of that company acquired the number factor, they require the number factor because that employee will be more great for the finding the calculations. Okay, so नंबर फैक्टर आम कहले कौन बुझ नंबर फैक्टर रे हमर कैलकुलेशन थाए, एडिशन थाए, सब्ट्रैक्शन थाए, मल्टीप्लिकेशन थाए, फ्रैक्शन थाए, रेशियो थाए. सो मैथमेटिकल लॉजिकल फैक्टर को सॉल्व करिया पई हमें नंबर फैक्टर यूज करा जाय थाए. तो आम डाटा एनालिसिस कंपनी मानकर कौन हुए ना जो एम्प्लॉय था मैंने ये नंबर फैक्टर भितर थाए, से नंबर फैक्टर क्वालिटी थाए, से माने खूब शीघ्र ठीक सठिक निर्भुल मेथड रे कैलकुलेशन करके से हिसाब गुड़ी को ठीक कैलकुलेशन करके से माने कौन करते ना ठीक आंसर दे पारि. ओके, then come the memory factor. In the memory factors, so what are the event occurs in the past will recollect and it applied in the present to solve the problem. ओके, तो मेमोरी फैक्टर कौन हुए आम क्विकली कौन करें रिकलेक्ट करूँ प्रिवियस कौन घटी एवं कौन पढ़ी एवं कौन एक्सपीरियंस गेन करते ताको आम प्रेजेंट सिचुएसन अप्लाई कले ताहले प्रोब्लेमटा सॉल्व होला एवं टास्क कंप्लीट है. ओके, ताको आम मेमोरी फैक्टर कही था. जो मेमोरी फैक्टर जो पर्सन अधिका थाए से शीघ्र रिकलेक्ट कर प्रोब्लेम को सिचुएसन को हैंडल कर पारि थाए. देन कम टू द रीजनिंग फैक्टर. Number 5, L.L. Thurston given the another factors who help for the development of intellectual process as well as the cognitive thinking. Okay, or a cognitive process. Reasoning, it is very simple. The person try to solve the problem. Okay, we given various competitive exam entrance. At that time, reasoning method also be applied. Reasoning solving skill method also applied. Example, there has in the right side what of the pictures is there, either it is same or not in the left hand side picture. Okay, if you solve that left side picture is more identical to the right side picture, then your reasoning skill is very good. Okay, so if you do not understand about that right side picture and the left side pictures, so that your reasoning skill is not good and you scored levels 0. Okay, से रिजनिंग स्किल कौन हुए आम कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम हो कि एंट्रेंस हो आम रिजनिंग स्किल अप्लाई करी कौन करी प्रोब्लेम सॉल्व करी. सपोज एग्जांपल एग्जाम रे कौन कराई दुईटा पिक्चर दि जाए लेफ्ट हैंड साइड रे डाहाण साइड रे मते दुईटा पिक्चर दि जाए तो कह जाए लेफ्ट साइड को पिक्चरटी राइट हैंड साइड पिक्चर सहित सामान. जदि आम सेम करी आम डिस्कसन करके डिसीजन मेकिंग प्रोसेस रे आम कौन करूँ ट्राई टू सॉल्विंग द प्रॉब्लम. तो कौन करो जो प्रोसेस रे कौन हो ना रीजनिंग मीन्स कौन ट्राई टू सॉल्व द प्रॉब्लम. ओके, एंड ऑल्सो लॉजिकल थिंकिंग. तो लॉजिकल थिंकिंग प्रोसेस स्टेप बाय स्टेप प्रोसेस रे कौन करूँ ना लेफ्ट हैंड साइड को पिक्चरटा राइट हैंड साइड पिक्चर सामान जदि आम कहींपारू ताकू आम बुझिकी आम लिखिपारू एग्जाम रे ताहले आम रीजनिंग स्किल वेरी गुड आम बेटर स्कोर पाइबा नाइदर लेवल स्कोर गो टू 0. ओके, सो ये बहुत गुड़े रूल्स एंड प्रिंसिपल इनवॉल्व होगी थाए. ओके, से रूल एंड प्रिंसिपल सपोज एग्जांपल मैथमेटिकल प्रोब्लेम थी मैथमेटिकल जेकोसी न्यूमेरिकल हो कि न्यूमेरिकल प्रोब्लेम फ्रैक्शन हो रेशियो एसेट्रा तो तार रूल एक्शन आम तार फॉर्मूला अप्लाई करवा मैथमेटिकल फॉर्मूला अप्लाई करके आम से प्रोब्लेम सॉल्यूशन से मैथमेटिकल प्रोब्लेम सॉल्यूशन बाहर कर. सो रीजनिंग इज ट्राई टू सॉल्व द प्रॉब्लम एंड ऑल्सो डू द लॉजिकल थिंकिंग. ओके, सो इट इज नॉट रीजनिंग. सो रीजनिंग फैक्टर जो व्यक्तिर अधिका थाए टेस्ट आम देखा जो व्यक्ति थाए ताहले से कौन करे इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रोसेस तार भल रही है. देन कम टू द परसेप्चुअल फैक्टर. परसेप्चुअल फैक्टर दैट इज हाउ टू पर्सन्स perceive the image very quickly. If you put in front a message or a paragraph in front of the persons, how to he perceive it and how to understand it, how to think it. Okay, then apply to the solving method process, how to solve it. Okay, so in the perceptual factor how to they will perceive image more quickly. Okay, suppose a English paragraph is put in front of the individual, so that and ask to it give answer, okay, in the English exam, so that the individuals first will read the paragraph very quickly and find out mistake where is there, and what are the question answer also given in the limited time, that is unlimited time, then complete the task, then he will get the better score, okay. So in the perceptual factor testing, the person who are become success also that person acquired the high perceptual factor, okay, and their intelligence process also increases developed. Then in the 7, the problem solving factor. In the problem solving factor, the persons who acquired the problem solving factor or decision making skills, the judgment, that persons in a way part of the problem comes, that will be very easily will be solved. Suppose example, कौन से एक बिल्डिंग तैयारी कला समय जदि कौन सी जगह जदि किसी आम देखले बिल्डिंग सरला पर मध्य भी कौन सी जगह किसी फाट सृष्टि हो, इट विल बी डिस्कनेक्टेड अबाउट दैट, okay, then in that place you should be also put the any cement and it's any that is the materials like the जोटा कहते पत्थर इटा कि गोड़ी देकी से जगह को आम से जगह को इंजीनियर कौन करे कंप्लीट करें, दैट इज ए प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग मेथड. अनदर प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग मेथड, दुटा सेंटेंस देइछे एग्जांपल, सन राइज इन द ईस्ट, सन फॉल्स इन द, sunset occurs in the west. So question is that where sun will be rises. So by the learning method we remember it and also solve that sun rises in the east, okay. So it is another example. So problem solving method रे कौन हुए ना जे कौन प्रॉब्लम आसे ताको आमे डिसीजन मेकिंग स्किल द्वारा रिकलेक्ट करिकी इनफॉरमेशन को आमे ठीक तार आंसर दे थाउ, okay. Then come to the process oriented theory. Process oriented theory is proposed by two psychologists known as Jean Piaget and Brunner. He proposed theory for the development of the intellectual process as well as the cognitive development. So here, what is the intellectual process and what is the cognitive development? First, let us see that intellectual. What is intellectual? Already had given definitions. Okay, simply it is said that intellectual is the acquiring and applying the knowledge and skill. Okay, acquiring and apply both acquiring the knowledge and skill and apply the knowledge skill, and it is also involved intensive reasoning and deep thinking, okay. And intellectual that is the known as intellectual. So both deep thinking and reasoning skills both are involved in the intellectual persons, okay. And also the acquiring the knowledge and skills, and it will also apply the knowledge skill for the solving the problem. It is also a one sentence of the intelligence. So what is the intellectual process? The intellectual process, that is the acquiring knowledge and all the experience also. So person do the intellectual process कौन हुए ना person कौन करे लॉजिकल वे रे स्टेटमेंट दे, okay, and more interest in the logical way, okay. So logical way तार more interest कौन था है से व्यक्ति रो इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रोसेस रे कौन हुए से व्यक्ति रो इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रोसेस टा बहुत डेवलप होई था है, okay. जार लॉजिकल वे ऑफ थिंकिंग, लॉजिकल वे ऑफ इंटरेस्ट इन द लॉजिकल वे, जो व्यक्ति रो लॉजिकल वे रे इंटरेस्ट को खटाए तार इंटरेस्ट जो इंटरेस्ट थाए से से ध्यान दिए, से व्यक्तिर इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रोसेस अधिक थाए, ओके. ଏବଂ डिसीजन मेकिंग रेशनल अदर दैन इमोशनल डिसीजन मेकिंग स्किल जो व्यक्ति अधिक थाए तार मध्य इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रोसेस अधिका थाए ओके तार इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रोसेस डेवलपमेंट होता है सो प्रोसेस ओरिएंटेड थ्योरी सेड दैट it will be focused on the intellectual development of intellectual process. So the persons who have logical interest in any work, example scientists always discovers a new idea, okay. Also they also applied logical way of their interest in the logical way, okay. Logical way means that is you have the predications, okay, and that will reaches in the conclusion, okay. सो साइंटिस्ट मैंने कौन करती ना लॉजिकल वे रे तांकर इंटरेस्ट को लेकिन कौन सी काम लगे था जोटा कि गोटे कनक्लूजन पहुँचता से कनक्लूजन करके प्रेडिकेशन दे था रिजल्ट तार दे था ओके और से न्यू आइडिया न्यू प्लानिंग डिस्कवर होता है सो जो व्यक्तिर द पर्सन्स हु हैव द मोर डिसीजन मेकिंग पावर the persons who are more capability in the applying their interest in the logical way to discover new ideas, that person's intellectual is more developed, okay, that is that are included in the intellectual process, okay. Also the process theory focused on the cognitive development that includes the working memory, thinking, attitude, problem solving, decision making, and the also adjustment all are included in the cognitive development. So process theory focus on the cognitive development, how to develop the person's cognitive power, okay. Here in the cognitive means that the persons acquire the knowledge and experience through the thought learn process. So thought learn process पर्सन कौन करे ना तार नॉलेज और एक्सपीरियंस गेन करता है. Then first is related to that Piaget's theory or of cognitive development. So here it is an Piaget said that intelligence is an adaptive process because in the adaptive process that means the persons always adjust to the new situations. So intellectual development occurs through by the cognitive process through the by the understanding method through the understand the physics law of physics, variation of the physics, equation of the physics, to do understand about the principle of a grammar, rule and regulation of the mathematical formula. So if you understand about that all the conditions, that is law of nature or law of the physics, law of the chemistry, mathematical grammar, mathematical formula, or the principles of the English grammars, okay, all are things that all are included in the cognitive process. Cognitive process said that it is defined as the understanding and gaining experience through by the thought or through by the learn process, okay. So cognitive process रे कौन हुए ना आम कौन से जिनस को भल भाव में बुझी पारि थाउ एवं नॉलेज गेन करि थाउ केमिति ना एक्सपीरियंस माध्यम रे बा पाठ पढ़िया माध्यम रे बा शिखिबा काठू शिखिबा द्वारा हो एवं कौन स्किल रे एंगेज होवा द्वारा. तो एतिक करबा द्वारा कौन हुए ना आम कौन करूँ करबा द्वारा आम कौन करूँ फास्ट वस्तु को बुझी पारि थाउ एवं नॉलेज आमर मध्य डेवलप होता है, ओके. तो कौन सी वस्तु को बुझी थाउ एवं कौन सी ट्रेनिंग रे इन्वॉल्व होइक एक्सपीरियंस मते गेन कर थाउ ता होची कॉग्निटिव प्रोसेस, ओके. सो कॉग्निटिव प्रोसेस रे आमे कोन करि थाउ जार कॉग्निटिव प्रोसेस भलो थाए से कोन करे कौन सी वस्तु पर भलो भाबरे बुझी थाए एवं ताको एवं एक्सपीरियंस मते गेन कर थाए. तापर जाई तार कोन होय ना इंटेलेक्चुअल भलो भाबरे डेवलपमेंट होय थाए, ओके. ऑल्सो Piaget's focused on the schemas, assimilation, accommodations. So assimilation is the to get new information or idea, and accommodation means to alternate existence ideas. Suppose example in the assimilation case, When a child identify word, it is a dog. When he saw that four leg animal, then he said that these are the dog. Okay, it is assimilation, because when child learn that word, it's a dog. Firstly child information find that get informed that it is a dog, and that dog has four legs. So that he spended that idea and said that all four legs animal are the dog. Okay, ତାହେଲେ ଏଥିରେ କ'ଣ ହେଲା ନା ଚାଇଲ୍ଡ କ'ଣ କଲା, ଫାଷ୍ଟ ତାକୁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ସେ ଜାଣିଲା ଯେ ଚାରିଟା ଗୋଡ଼ ଥିବା ତାକୁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଡଗ୍ ଏଇଟା କୁହାଗଲା କ'ଣ, ଯେତେବେଳେ ତାକୁ ଆମେ ଚିହ୍ନି ପାରିଲେ ଯେ ଇଏ ହେଉଛି ଡଗ୍, ତ ସେ ଦେଖିଲା ଡଗ୍ରେ ଚାରୋଟି ଲେଗ୍ ରହିଛି, ତେଣୁ ଯେକୌଣସି ଫୋର୍ ଆନିମଲ୍କୁ ଦେଖିଲା, ତାର ଚାରୋଟି ଗୋଡ଼ ଥିବା ଆନିମଲ୍କୁ ଦେଖିଲା, ତ ତାକୁ ସେ ଡଗ୍ ବୋଲି କହିଲା। ସୋ ଏଥିରେ କ'ଣ ହୁଏ, ଆସାମିଲେସନ୍ କେସ୍ରେ ଏ ଗେଟ୍ ନ୍ୟୁ ଇନଫର୍ମେସନ୍, ଯେତେବେଳେ ଗୋଟେ ନ୍ୟୁ ଇନଫର୍ମେସନ୍ ପାଇଲା, ସେଇ ନ୍ୟୁ ଇନଫର୍ମେସନ୍କୁ ମଧ୍ୟ ପରବର୍ତ୍ତୀ ମୁହୂର୍ତ୍ତରେ ସେଇଟାକୁ ସେ ନ୍ୟୁ ଆଇଡ଼ିଆ ମଧ୍ୟ ଖର୍ଚ୍ଚେଇକି ନ୍ୟୁ ଆଇଡ଼ିଆ ମଧ୍ୟ ସ୍ପେଣ୍ଡ କରିକି ମଧ୍ୟ ନ୍ୟୁ ଇନଫର୍ମେସନ୍ କ୍ରିଏଟ୍ କଲା। ବଟ୍ ଇନ୍ ଦ ଆକୋମୋଡେସନ୍ କେସ୍ରେ କ'ଣ ହୁଏ, ଟୁ ଅଲ୍ଟରନେଟ୍ ଏକ୍ଜିଷ୍ଟେନ୍ସ ଆଇଡ଼ିଆ। ଓକେ, ଯାହା ଆଇଡ଼ିଆ ଯାହା ବା ଏକ୍ଜିଷ୍ଟେଣ୍ଟ ଆଇଡ଼ିଆ ଥାଏ ତାକୁ ଚେଞ୍ଜ କରାଯାଇଥାଏ ଆକୋମୋଡେସନ୍ କେସ୍ରେ। ଓକେ, ଏକ୍ଜାମ୍ପଲ୍, ଯେତେବେଳେ ହ୍ୱେନ୍ ପିପୁଲ୍ସ ସେ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଡଗ୍ ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ନଟ୍ ଏ ଡଗ୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ କ୍ୟାଟ୍, ଯଦି ଲୋକ କହିଲେ ସେଇଟା ଡଗ୍ ନୁହେଁ, ଏଇଟା ହେଉଛି ଗୋଟେ କ୍ୟାଟ୍, ଦେନ୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ରେଷ୍ଟ୍ରିକ୍ଟେଡ୍ ଇନ୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଲିମିଟେଡ୍ ପିରିୟଡ଼ ଅଫ୍ ଟାଇମ୍, ସେଇ କଣ୍ଡିସନ୍ଟା କ'ଣ ହେଲା, ରେଷ୍ଟ୍ରିକ୍ସନ୍ ହୋଇଗଲା। ଓକେ, ରେଷ୍ଟ୍ରିକ୍ସନ୍ ସେଇ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ନଲେଜଟା ମଧ୍ୟ ରେଷ୍ଟ୍ରିକ୍ସନ୍ ହୋଇଗଲା ଏବଂ ଡଗ୍କୁ ତାପରେ ସମସ୍ତେ କ୍ୟାଟ୍ ବୋଲି ଭାବି ନେଲେ। ତ ଏଇଟାକୁ ତା ଆଇଡ଼ିଆଟା ଯାହା ଥିଲା ଡଗ୍ ବୋଲି, ସେଇଟା ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହୋଇକି କ୍ୟାଟ୍ ହୋଇଗଲା। ସେଇଟା କହନ୍ତି ଆକୋମୋଡେସନ୍। ସେଇ ଫୋକସ୍ଡ ଅନ୍ ସ୍କିମାସ୍, ଆସିମିଲେସନ୍ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଆକୋମୋଡେସନ୍। ଓକେ, ଦେନ୍ କମ୍ ଟୁ ଦ ବ୍ରୁନର୍ସ ଥିଓରି। People's intellectual skill will be developed by the reward and punishment from the environment. When people's given an example, when persons do crime, they got punishment. When persons study score is better in the entrance examination, they find the better score, they get reward or a scholar. So both reward and punishment occur from the environment, then the person's intellectual skill will develop. Then the reward persons becomes more having the more interest to do the more work, to do the extend their skills. ओके, सो कौन है ना एनवायरमेंट रू व्यक्ति कौन करे ना बहुत रिवार्ड और पनिशमेंट पाई थाए। जदि से भूल काम करे ताल पनिशमेंट पाए, जदि भल काम करे से रिवार्ड पाई थाए। एग्जांपल, क्राइम जो माने करती से माने पनिशमेंट पाती और जेल जाती, आ जो मानकर एंट्रांस रे भल स्कोर रहे से माने कौन करती आइदर स्कॉलरशिप पाती कि रिवार्ड पाती कि कौन से डांसिंग डांसिंग क्षेत्र में भल डांस कला से रिवार्ड पाई थाए। तो रिवार्ड द्वारा कौन हुए ना व्यक्तिर इंटरेस्ट अधिक आसे, से भल काम करे, तेणु इंटेलेक्चुअल स्किलटा से टाइप कौन डेभलपमेंट होता है, डिसीजन मेकिंग स्किलटा डेभलप होता है और तार इंटरेस्टा अधिका हुए। बट पनिशमेंट क्षेत्र में कौन हुए, जो मैंने क्राइम करते से माने क्राइम थीफ्ट ऑल द पर्सन्स गेट पनिशमेंट, जो पनिशमेंट पाती से कौन करते और नेक्स्ट टाइम से भूल करती ना, तेणु तर यू कौन हुए से भल काम करते इंटेलेक्चुअल स्किल डेभलप होता है। Piaget also said that a child's intellectual ability does not develop at certain period of time, it is developed at any stage. Okay, example given that the child learn the physics equation, evaluation equation, variation law from any physics. Okay, not he will taught from the 3-year-old complex physics. Okay, he could taught the physics, that is principle of forces, mass, momentum, friction. Okay, and also that is repeated in the graphical presentation, that is known as ionic method, and the symbolic form that you will see involve the physics law, equation, variation, principles, etc. So Abhinandan said that the child's intellectual process developed at any stage, okay, it is not developed in the particular period of time. The child cannot learn everything from 3-year-old complex physics. He will be taught some principle of physics, force, mass, moment of frictions, and also we find that graphical presentation, representation of something, and also find that physics equation, chemistry equation, formula, variation, etc. So here Bunner said that completely that so child not to be taught correctly about the equation or the principle of the physics, that is principle of the force, mass, momentum, friction from the 3-year-old complex physics. Okay, the latter then it will be graphical presented in front of the child, and also it will be presented in the symbolic form, then will be remember. So Brunner कहले जे चाइल्ड जेकोसी स्टेज रे से कौन करे जेकोसी सब्जेक्ट को शिखी तार शिखी थाए. ओके, एग्जांपल गोटे दबा जदि कौन से गोटे 3 वर्षर गोटे पुराना फिजिक्स बही कि चाइल्ड कहबा दबा जे शिखापी ताहले से प्रिंसिपल फिजिक्स प्रिंसिपल मास, प्रिंसिपल ऑफ मास, प्रिंसिपल मोमेंटम, प्रिंसिपल ऑफ फ्रिक्शन, फोर्सेस शिखी पारि न थाए सहजरे. ओके, से कौन करे प्रिंसिपल ऑफ फिजिक्स मास संपूर्ण भाव न शिखले किसी मात्रा शिखी जाए. ओके, दे कुड बी टॉट. ओके, एवं सेटा मध्य एक्टिव फॉर्म न थाए, इनएक्टिव फॉर्म थाए. शीघ्र से रिसीव करके एक्सप्लेन करि पारे नहीं. बट लाटर परवर्ती समय कौन हुए तार जो ग्राफिकल प्रेजेंटेशन हो, तार गोटे सिंबलिक फॉर्म, तार इक्वेशन हो, डेरिवेशन हो, जहाँ भी अच्छी ताको से शिखी पारि थाए. ओके, ताको रिपीटेड माध्यम शिखी पारि थाए. ओके, then come to the information processing theory given by the Robert Sternberg in the year 1984. Robert Sternberg also helps for the development of the intellectual process as well as the decision making to doing the enhancement of the decision making skill through by the some method. Okay, so problem solving method. Okay, so process the Sternberg, the theory propagated by the Sternberg. So they also identify the following step in way one process information. Process information theory द्वारा कौन है process information theory द्वारा that is given by the Robert Sternberg in 1984 already said that, and this theory helps for the problem solving and the cognition development as by the information processing. Okay, so whatever the steps are there that to solve the problem, and it is helpful for the individual. See that first the encoding step, the first step is the encoding. When the individual or the person identify the problem and what of the problem is there, what are the sources, first it identify it. Okay, and that relevant information that come to the mind first. Second case that is inferring stage. Okay, in the inferring stage first he will be imagined it. Okay, imagine it and also we spend their mind. So whatever the problems is there first. Okay, तो एनकोडिंग स्टेज रे कौन ला फास्ट से आइडेंटिफाई कला प्रॉब्लम को, सेकंड स्टेज रे से कौन गला डिसीजन तैयारी कला जे कोथ पई ए प्रॉब्लमटा हेज ता भाबिले थिंकिंग, लॉजिकल थिंकिंग इज गोइंग ऑन इन द इन्फरिंग स्टेप. देन थर्ड स्टेज ए मैपिंग. देन थर्ड स्टेज रे डू दैट compare the relation between the first situation with the previous situations. Okay, present situation with the previous situation they compared, that is known as the mapping stage. Then come to the application. So what are the relationship is presented from the previous experience, that will be applied. Okay, in the that will be applied in the mind. What are the relationship between that two statement and two problem, between two problem, that is from previous problem to the present problem. Then in the justification, first that analyze the problem and find out the solutions. In the responding stage, they apply to the solution to find out the apply the solution to solve the problem. Okay, so here see that in first stage कौन है, encoding stage कौन है ना, first problem कौन पाई हैला एवं तार सोर्सेस कौन से फास्ट आइडेंटिफाई कला, तार रिलेवेंट इनफॉरमेशन को माइंड को आनिक से फास्ट आइडेंटिफाई कला. इन इन्फरिंग स्टेज रे कौन करिवो, जहाँ भी प्रोब्लेम है से फास्ट सेटा को आनिकी लॉजिकल थिंकिंग कला, लॉजिक थिंकिंग इंडिविजुअल कला, माने ता विषय बहुत बार भाबिकी कौन पाई एटा हैला फास्ट ता माइंड से ड्र करके पिक्चरटा को फास्ट से चिन्हवा को चेष्टा कला. इन द मैपिंग स्टेज रे कौन हुए ना, प्रीवियस सिचुएसन जहाँ घटी था वर्तमान सिचुएसन जहाँ फ्रंट रे घटला ता भीतर रिलेशनशिप कौन रही तो जानवा से चेष्टा करे. इन द एप्लिकेशन स्टेज रे कौन हुए ना, से कौन करे जहाँ सब जहाँ सब इवेंट पाइला जे प्रीवियस सिचुएसन सहित वर्तमान सिचुएसन रिलेशन कौन रही ताहाको कौन कला से वर्तमान ताको अप्लाई कला, जहाँ भी पाइला ताको ता भीतर रिलेशन जहाँ भी पाइला ताहाको कौन कला तार प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग स्किल रे अप्लाई कला. जस्टिफिकेशन स्टेज रे कौन कला, प्रॉब्लम को भल भाव एनालाइज कला, रिलेशनशिप कौन अच्छी जानिला. एवं थर्ड नेक्स्ट स्टेज रे कौन रेस्पोंडिंग स्टेज रे सॉल्यूशन को प्रॉब्लम जोटी रही ताको अप्लाई करके तार ताको सॉल्व कला, सॉल्यूशन को अप्लाई करके ताको सॉल्व करागला, ताको रेस्पोंडिंग स्टेज कहा जाए. सो देयर आर 6 स्टेप ऑफ प्रोसेस ओरिएंटेड थ्योरी. इन बाय दिस स्टेप the persons solve their problem. First identify the problem, encoding stage, then the logical thinking, that is inferring stage, then the mapping, find out the relation between the previous situation and the present one. Okay, and fourth one is the applications, that that relationship in applied to the problem solving skill. Then in the 5 stage, that is justification stage, they find out the solution of that problem by or from the relationship. Okay, in the 6th stage, that is responding stage. So in this stage they applied solution, they applied, the person applied or providing the best possible solution to the problem for solving the problem. Okay, so theory is over, so intelligence is over.